election and minutes for the regular board meeting. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pam. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion is carried. Personnel recommendations. I'm gonna go through to Eddie Kingston first, so a motion please. So, thank you, Tammy, and a second? Second. Thank you, Ken. Any questions or comments through Eddie Kingston? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion is carried. We will now do Philip Newman and Sean Newman. Motion please. So moved. Thank you, Ken, and a second?
Second.
Thank you, Seth. And I'll be abstaining. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion is carried. We will now go through Brian Rolfe, Boys Modified Soccer, through Susan Temple, District Court.
So moved.
Thank you, Seth. Second? Second. Thank you, Lucy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you, Sue, to all of us. Oh, and this. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, you may have. I will say it was fun to work with you all those years and then to be on board. Thank you. Thank you. For my pleasure. Yes. All right, financial reports and CSE recommendations, I'd like to do them together. A motion, please. So, thank you, Tammy, in a second.
Second.
Thank you, Kim. Any questions or comments about financial reports or CSE recommendations? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motions are carried. Reports, principal's monthly report, Mrs. Meehan.
Mrs. Mabel's gonna report for us tonight on behalf of both buildings.
Both buildings, okay.
I've asked Mrs. Robbins to attend the DCMO recognition ceremony because we have some students in parent teacher education that are being recognized tonight and tomorrow night. So Mrs. Robbins is there tonight and I'll be attending tomorrow night.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll do the elementary first. We had an RTI, day of RTI meetings so that we can begin the 2021-22 year right off and get services for those kiddos who may need it. I've been working on pre-K, working on hiring a music teacher and 3 elementary teachers. We completed the 4th grade science assessments and those go to the BOCES tomorrow. We completed the pre-K CBO webinar. We're looking at furnishings for the pre-K in the library. We've completed all of our fire drills and we're completing our iReady assessments. There's only 5 more to go for ELA and then 6 more in math plus 2nd grade. 2nd grade started today in math, so they're not quite done yet, but it's coming right along. So what I will say about the iReady assessments is they Mrs. Zimmerman, she reminded me that I need to be looking at, not last year, but the year before. We're right about on par for where we were 2 years ago. So with all we've been through in the last year and a half, I think our kids have done a great job. So, and our teachers are, the big part of that. So thank you to them. And parents and community, everybody's been a big part. Now Robbins, they had tractor day on June 11th and they had 10 tractors and it went very well and was a lot of fun. Regents Week is June 17th, then June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. We're doing ELA, World Language, Living Environment, Algebra 1, and Earth Science. Last day of CTE at BOCES is June 15th. Last day of instruction for 7th through 12th grade is June 18th. Last day of instruction for K through 6th grade is the 24th, 25th is a conference day. Prom Under the Stars, June 19th, 2021 from 8 to midnight under the tent that's out there, and if you didn't get to see it, take a look on your way out. The FFA banquet is June 21st. The athletic ceremony is June 22nd. Cap and gown pickup and parade is Wednesday, June 23rd at 1 p.m. Then they come up and do a rehearsal and walkthrough and a picnic on June 24th at 9 a.m. in the elementary, and then their other stuff. Graduation is June 26th at 10 a.m. All but one out of 67 will not be, all but one out of 67 will be walking, and that one will receive his diploma in August. Summer school at the Harold campus is from July 7th through August 12th. Driver's ed class will be here at DA. Sean Newman will be the teacher from July 7th through August 12th from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Monday through Thursday, and it'll be in the middle school cafeteria. So, the summer school, I forgot to say this, our count has dropped since our high school faculty has worked diligently to make sure that they have validly assessed the skill set of every student in the content area. So we don't have as many kids going to summer school as we thought we were going to. Okay, and that's our report. Questions?
Do you, it's more probably a Robin thing, the orchestra position, Sean Deacon's replacement, is that still posted? I've been asked about our strategy with that. I know I have somebody part-time or did have
Yeah,
somebody.
no, we had decided, as soon as I say this, you'll say, oh yeah, I remember. We had decided, Jackie Gibson stepped up internally and was interested in that position. So Jackie Gibson will be full-time as the orchestra teacher
Okay,
this fall, and we posted elementary music, so that's what Julie's interviewing for.
that's, okay, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, but both positions will be full-time.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
All right, athletic director Jeff Rowe, Jeff.
No, Jeff had a family emergency tonight too. He called me, he said really the only update there is the athletic banquet.
Okay.
And we're expecting quite a crowd for the athletic banquet next week, and it will also be under the tent.
Okay. And buildings and grounds?
Oh,
there you
I
are.
understand.
Oh, why I thought you.
Well, we, guess really we just, as you can, some of you can see, we got, tent was set up today for this coming 2 weeks of events. We got the 5 kids, set up through the school for, employment. It looks like we might be getting 3 kids through the CDO. I don't know if Greg's got any on his half or not yet, but we have been talking to them, but, other than that, it's just getting ready to line up what we're gonna do on our schedule to take care of the summertime, so. If there's anything, questions, anybody?
Thanks, Dave. Thank you. Mr. Schultz.
I think it's short and sweet also. We have auditors in on Wednesday. Our external audit starts early, they do a little preliminary testing and then they'll be back in probably August. Julie already hit on pre-K furniture and library. We have a company out of Texas that we're looking at right now. I don't pick out colors at my own house, so this is gonna struggle for me. But I think we finally found this company, it's a lot of fun. Furniture, very, what would you say?
Collaborative.
Engaging, words I would never use in my own house. So we're working on that. We have to have the order in by the end of June only because of timing. It's about a 6 to 8 week turnaround. And we're hopeful that the library is done also because as you know, the library, everything from the library is in indoor recess. So that has to come out, get into the library, be finished, and we get the pre-K going. So I have high hopes that that'll all work out. Busy with capital project, CWC, we talked about that earlier. CWC bids came in. We will be awarding at some point a contractor and looking at the other piece of the paving. They're finished with the roof as far as I know. I think they were finished up on Friday. They may be doing a few small little pieces. I know there's a piece left over here. And abatement, phase 1 is completed. They've taken down the barrier over here. I'm not sure about the front yet. I haven't seen that. And then they're working on phase 2 and they should be done this week with that complete project. It should be all complete by then. David already hit on it. The tent is out there. It was put up today. I haven't been in there, it looks pretty big from the outside, I know it's a lot bigger than last year, we did 60 by 120, this is a 60 by 190. And we'll start setting out for all the events. David hit on summer work too, and he's got quite a bit. You have to remember, we have 2 tractor trailers full of furniture elsewhere that was taken out of classrooms, so not only are we cleaning, resetting classrooms, but hopefully resetting them to what they were pre-pandemic. So we've got a lot of work going on this summer and not a lot of time, so. Any questions?
Thanks, Mr. Schultz.
Ms. Miller? Good evening. I will be brief as well. I just wanted to let you know we're winding down our school year. And I want to note in your agendas, Deb Stein is retiring after 29 years. And I'm going to miss her, so I just wanted to let you know that she has been here quite a while. Julie mentioned the FFA banquet. I am working with Tina James to pull that off this year out under the tent. And I've also been working with Dave and Robin and the 6th grade teachers because we need to accommodate seating when we're still feeding our 6th graders, but yet we're taking all the chairs from the high school cafeteria to the gyms for Regents because we're really low on desks, so we're just trying to make sure everybody has a spot for their lunches until the 24th. So that's basically it. So, any questions? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mrs. Shu.
Mine's pretty short today too. So, three bullet points really. With special education, we're not quite finished with meetings yet. We did 62 meetings since our last board meeting, CPSC, CSE, and 504 meetings. We're making really great gains in establishing the processes and procedures to support those productive meetings and timely communication with families. I can't thank our teachers, our related service providers, our counselors, Mr. Erickson, Mrs. Wood enough for the attention to detail and professionalism that they've shown in these meetings. It's actually been very impressive. Meeting with special education teachers and school counselors this week. We're going to discuss data for the year, programming for next year, and finishing up our master schedule. And I continue to work on hiring a new special education teacher. We went out for our second, we had a reposting. Student services, I'm excited to work with school counselors this summer. We're gonna spend a lot of time looking again at our data, our outcome data. We're preparing reports for the advisory council and of course for all of you. We're updating our comprehensive plan. We'll be building our scope and sequence and our roadmaps, K-12 for college and career readiness, and we're creating our calendars for the school year. We had an implementation specialist from Second Step come and work with our middle school teachers. Pretty excited about that and thinking that we can really support our students with solid tier 1 support for social emotional learning with fidelity in the year 21-22. And then as far as data preparation for the end of year reports, I'm working with June to shore up our verification process, and we'll be meeting regularly in the summer to just talk about our data moving forward, and then I'll be attending those DDC meetings on Wednesdays. So that's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Mr. Carter-Ziba.
So a couple updates from technology. Our big push since last meeting was kind of an internal technology committee meeting. We had a nice presentation and talked about kind of where we're headed. We're doing another one the 17th this week. And then our big push right now is for Chromebook collection. As we know, we have devices that have been out in students' hands for over a year and a half, and we need to get them all back. So every device is coming back. We've got all the logistics set up for that. And that's really our prime focus, as well as some much needed vacation time and things of that nature, and just supporting all the logistics of the building project and all those changes internally with different spaces and moving offices or whatever's coming down the line, and just being ready for that when that comes through.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gersborn.
Alrighty, much of the same routine stuff going on here, DOT continues to go well. Preparing for the summer runs and setting things up there, seeing what's gonna be needed there. Submitted annual affidavit of compliance for this year's obligations. Participated in random drug and alcohol screening, which happens periodically, but last week went and did another one. Took delivery of the new district vehicle, or van that we voted on here today. Everything seems to be going well, and I'd like to introduce and welcome Ed Fisher, who voted on tonight. Ed comes to us 15 years from Delaware County Public Works Department as a mechanic. Ed's been a sub-driver here for us for a few years, and is very well versed in what's going on and his training here. He's also a volunteer firefighter, assistant chief, and EMT, and very involved with the community and children's things, so welcome Ed.
All right. Mrs. Zimmerman's report. So on the heels of that, I also want to say welcome to Ed. And also you appointed Lisa Kolaski to
within the last 12 years. But I'm so happy to be here and be a part of the Delaware Academy family.
Awesome, we're happy to have you, welcome, so welcome. I'm just gonna pass around a thank you letter and certificate came from the Delaware County Sheriff's Office to be shared with the board. We allowed them use of our facilities for their cadet training. And so they wanted me to share that with the district and with the board. In your packets, you'll see I copied this NISBA update for all of you. This just clarifies recent guidance that came out to clarify end-of-year academic celebrations and events, including graduations. Noting that the guidance we received on June 7th regarding outdoor events does not apply to graduations, specifically with a mask wearing. However, if you read deeper into it, for events below the state's gathering limit of 500 outdoors, which we are below for graduation, that we can proceed with the practice that vaccinated individuals do not need to wear a mask, or it would be optional. And that can be achieved by self-report or the honor system. That is how we will move forward for graduation. We will use the honor system and trust that people will self-report their vaccination status. We will have signage that indicates that those who are not vaccinated are required to wear a mask at the event. So I just wanted to clarify that, knowing that this also just came out last night and I was anticipating questions on that piece. Also, you may have seen that we are partnering with DASH. They are now open for vaccinations for 12 and over. So anyone who is interested in getting that vaccination for their child only need to call DASH. If you're not currently a member of DASH, it's the sign-up process for that is super easy. You can use them as much or as little as you want to as a registered individual. So that is open. It's by appointment only, but just give them a call and they'll be happy to work with you and get you right in.
Do you see that extending into the summer? How does that gonna work?
That does extend through the summer. In July and August, they're only open on Mondays and Wednesdays, and they have some limited hours. I believe it's 8 to 4 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Definitely through July. Come August, they anticipate it will still be the same, but it may be a few less days. So just call first.
Are there other local schools that have different days and are they allowed to go there or no?
I don't know. I don't know. I know that our Walgreens is also providing, right here in town, is also providing the vaccine.
Or even just not for vaccine, like if your child's sick, they can go to Dash too.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yes,
well, that's what I
they're still
meant,
open
I just
for
didn't know if like
COVID
South Shore, I think
services.
has it, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
if, I didn't know if they were opposite days, if you could go there, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I know that we have welcomed South Courtright, students from there to come and use our Dash.
Okay,
So they can be used interchangeably.
okay.
I just don't know if their hours complement. Do you think they do?
I think that they do, I think that
Okay.
they have different places open. You could have to go as far as Sydney, you know, it just depends on who they have open, but if anybody just calls that 746,
Yeah.
7454 number, they'll tell you exactly where they can see you and what time and all of that.
The last piece that I had tonight, also in your folders, you will find a copy of the federal stimulus fund survey that looks like this, that's printed out, along with a cover sheet of our thoughts on our allocations of the CRRSA piece of ESSER. So if you recall in the past, there are two funding streams. The CRRSA is the amount of a little over $800,000. And then the 1.8 million that you've heard us talk about is separate. The application that's due in the state portal by the end of June is for the $800,000 awarding of that. And we just put that public survey out where we needed to survey our community in terms of what they would prioritize within this spending in 5 separate areas. Those are the areas that you see each question represented in this, and then each of the 5 areas on this sheet. You had asked at the last board meeting what we were looking at in terms of allocations and what types of things we are anticipating allocating that funding to. I put these in the order of importance that our community indicated they would like to see these funds allocated to. And then within each of these are just preliminary thoughts and allocations into each of these areas that identify targeted professional development that will address learning loss, differentiated models of instruction to meet the individualized needs of every learner, regardless of where they were in the wake of COVID. The curriculum mapping work that we've talked about, that gap analysis work, and we can also be reimbursed for summer school transportation since those children are needing to attend summer school a greater number than we had anticipated in the wake of COVID. Other pieces that are required are allocations for social, emotional, and mental health. You heard Mrs. Shearer speak last time about a few of the programs that we're looking to bring on board this fall. That all falls under this funding. We talked about other barriers to teaching and learning, under which in the definition technology falls. So we've been talking about our one-to-one replacement cycle in devices, and this is an opportunity we can capitalize to put some of those more robust devices in the hands of our upperclassmen. And that work is being spearheaded by Luke in our technology committee, and the board technology committee is actually meeting this week to talk about that in more detail. And also to upgrade for teachers in their classrooms, moving away from desktops, replacing them with more portable and robust laptops in the classrooms. Docking stations is a priority in that area. And then they refer to what's called accelerated learning, which is your RTI, AIS, enrichment opportunities. And in these areas, we can allocate money toward training on our updated RTI and AIS plan that Mrs. Shearer spoke to last time. This is also where we can include furniture to outfit UPK, to outfit the library, to outfit, we're also looking at space within those middle school pods. And as Carrie had alluded to, we're looking at furniture that supports innovative thinking, collaboration again, and those types of things, and really creating engaging spaces for teaching and learning to occur that is facilitated naturally by different updated furniture selections in all of those areas. And I know that this board has also talked about in the elementary school, how are we continuing to ensure that we're teaching our science and social studies when our primary focus is on literacy and on math. And as Mrs. Mabel spoke to a little bit, the results of the iReady shows that those efforts have been definitely worth their weight in gold. However, as we move forward and we're looking back into science, there is a curriculum that they currently use this year that in the past we haven't been able to supply the full gamut of materials and supplies for that easily fall under some of this funding. So they're excited to be looking forward to that. And then health and safety, I know it kind of came up as the bottom priority, still a priority. We can be applied to be reimbursed for this year's PPE expenses. And then also, it also includes opportunities for ventilation units. There's a unit replacement that was not included in capital project, and it costs a little bit more than what a traditional capital outlay would cost. That can fall under this funding as a one-time expenditure. And so we're looking to get that upgraded here, which is one less thing that will need to go into the next capital project. Certainly, if you have additional thoughts or questions on some of these areas, we're open for discussion. The details are still not out yet for the 1.8, but those are the funds that will be allocated over multiple years, as we had talked about before. This is just the CRRSA funds. I'm gonna look at Mr. Schultz. Did I miss anything in there?
No, I will say, you said preliminary, there's still a lot of stuff we need to sift through this, and so what happens, we apply, we do the application by June 30th, we can do 100 budget amendments from there,
Correct.
15, if we decide that we find something better, we find that funding we'd like to push off in another direction, we can do that easily by just doing budget amendments. You notice there's no FTEs or additional staffing. It's kind of a tough thing to be adding staffing with dollars that will eventually go away. So that's what we're trying to implement more programming for our staff.
Right. Yeah, the focus, we've been discouraged from hiring new personnel, for example, because these are not funds that will be sustained. So we've been encouraged to really look at those one-time expenditures, and here's your opportunity. That's all I have. Okay. Any questions? James?
Just a quick question. This coming week, what will protocols be for like FFA and athletic works?
Great question, same as what I just described. I don't anticipate any of those will exceed the limits for outdoor gatherings. Those events are all being held outdoors, and so it will be on the honor system based on vaccinations. Any other questions? Does the board feel otherwise? This is certainly something we can have a conversation about.
I think it's a good strategy, and it follows a lot of what you see in society now. It's honor-based when you're going to places with a few people or many people. So I think it's a good strategy.
Every group that is holding an outdoor event in the upcoming weeks has been provided with the guidance from New York State that outlines, all of the minutiae for holding outdoor activities. I think it's good. Yeah. Thanks. All right, thank you.
Board committee reports, just gonna go through, if you have nothing to report, just say nothing to report. AL Kellogg committee,
Nothing to report.
athletic committee,
Nothing to report.
board liaison committee,
Nothing to report.
capital project committee.
It's all that reported.
Finance committee report, anything other than
Essentially, we met to review the bids for the CWC component and capital projects of our drainage and paving, and those are being finalized as we speak. With additional meetings between our construction management firm and vendors.
and policy review committee. We met. All right, I have a report. There are a couple
in our next agenda item is policy review and adoption, and we do have 2 policies that we've revised that are on the agenda and 2 new policies that we discussed last time, the service dog and the contract signing for the superintendent. These are all first readings. And then when we met, we also started to review the diversity, equity, and inclusive policy that we're required to have through with the state. And we've got a good starting point, but we really didn't feel like what we had was really what we wanted to move forward with. So we're going to poll some of the other schools and see what their policies look like, what they've got in place. And so we feel like we've got a good starting point, but we're not ready to bring a first reading to the board yet. And also, I will say that Sue, in the midst of everything else that she's got going on, took it upon herself to get a listing from New York State Department of Education, what required policies we should have, went through our book of policies and marked off what what we did have, and did come up with a couple that we are lacking. It's nothing substantial, I will say that. And we have some templates, and we'll begin to work on those through the summer as we work on our DEI policy. I think that's it.
Any questions for Mrs. Okay, thank you very much. So now we'll move on to policy review and adoption.
The technology committee.
Oh, sorry.
We're meeting this coming week.
Yeah, there is a note there. Yes, there is. Sorry. Is it good? Policy review and adoption, this would be for policies number 57 and 58. A motion, please. So moved. Thank you, Lucy and Tammy. And Kim, why do I do that? Any questions or comments?
Just a question, when we adopt new policies, can we get a print one?
Sure, those have
We
been.
got a binder when we got on the board, and see
Oh,
on
to keep up
snapshot
with
in
it.
time.
I don't think these are new ones, are they?
These are not new ones, these are just, if they've been revised in any way, shape, or form. So you distribute the pieces to put in their agendas, right? Or in their,
There's copies attached to the
So we can
agendas.
just print them out.
they're attached, yeah, right on, the
Board
agendas when
docs.
she works on, yes.
That works.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion is carried. And as Tammy said, the first reading of the policy 3160 and the authorization to sign contracts and the dog service policies are on the agenda with no action taken. And there's no old business?
Hold on one second.
Yes.
For policy 60, are there any changes there for the non-resident tuition?
That was to specify K-12, because of what we talked about with preschool last time.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Yep, that was the only change.
Good.
All right, new business. Permission to destroy ballots from the 2020 annual budget vote and Board of Education elections. Motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Tammy. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Seth. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Certification of the 2021 annual budget vote and Board of Education election. I don't have to read these out loud. A motion, please. Sorry, Seth. And second?
Second.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. I'm going to do C, D, and E as one motion. Everyone's okay with that? Okay. So it's permission to remove books from inventory in the middle school, high school library, permission to remove books from elementary classrooms, and permission to remove books from the CTEP classroom. A motion, please. So moved. Thank you, Tammy, and a second. Thank you, Kim. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Permission to declare items as surplus for the CTEP program. A motion, please. Thank you, Seth, and second.
Good, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So what happens with all that? Okay, so that's got value to it.
It did have a value, yeah. You mean the CTEP?
Yeah.
I
So
wasn't
what
clear on
happens
your
to
question,
it?
James, what happens to that?
Yeah,
Does it go
Yeah,
out to bid?
once the board excises those pieces, then we have a few options. They can be completely discarded, or they can go up for public auction. And that is typically managed through the business office right there.
So I will say for these two particular items, so your question was, yes, you're absolutely right. They get discarded if they're trashed, if there's a safety issue with them, or they are done with an auction. With this situation, these are students that are moving their CTEP program, they're in the first cohort and moving on to the second year, which technically they would have to go back and buy all these tools. So we don't have, so basically the way the CTEP program, you don't have new cohorts coming in, so there was a request that they can purchase those tools for the value.
That's right.
So I contacted Bruce McKeegan about it and we talked about it, if it was accessed and they were done on a, we ended up doing a sliding scale as far as, I'm trying to get a word. I'm sorry. Appreciation on them, and so these students, they will be offered to the students for this purchase price, and if they decide not to, then we'll do a public auction.
so the school, the students.
Yeah, so they get appreciate over time, so legally we've done that, and then offered to them for purchase. A little different, but.
Should second. Sue, did you get the
I
second?
didn't get the second.
Who was the second on that?
Second.
Thank you, second, please. No, you did the motion. I need another one.
You can so passionately about this.
Sean, all right, thank you. Any questions or comments? No, we're done with that. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is carried. Equipment donation from the Headwaters Soccer Club. They're giving us 25 soccer balls, 24 pennies, and 30 disciplines. Thank you very much. A motion, please? So moved. Thank you, Tammy, and a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kim. Any questions or comments?
Just thank you.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Sue, of course, you will. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Approved DCMO BOCES transportation contracts for 2021 through 2022. A motion, please. Thank you, Kim, and a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lucy. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion is carried. And here we go. The resolution to establish a universal pre-K program. And the second, Mrs. Kelly?
Second.
Any questions or comments? I would just like to say to Mrs. Kelly and to everyone who worked so hard on that committee, that thank you for doing that, because now we have such a great wealth of information and a foundation that here we go, we can get this going, and really appreciate that, so thank you. Any other comments, questions?
I was asked today when residents can expect to pre-register and have the enter into the lottery system, when would we be pulling names? We're still not there yet. Mr. Schultz and Mrs. Mabel and I attended a statewide meeting webinar the other day. The state is still rolling out details specific to this non-competitive grant that we must follow. We have to go through the RFP process first with any potential collaborators in our region. So I would say our community can anticipate that no sooner than end of July.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion is carried. We'll be tabling J. Okay, is request to transfer funds. A motion, please. Thank you, Seth, and a second. Just wait a minute. Tim? Okay, Tim?
Hey, can we
Yes.
talk about what this one's, what we're doing with the 340,000?
Mr. Schultz?
Yep, I'm gonna,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Mr.
yield
Schultz,
to
question
Carrie
about-
on that one.
Of the transfer of the 340,000.
What was the question?
James is asking.
It's going to the capital.
It's for, yes, it's,
Give the language.
with more sub-accounts. Yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, you're just asking where it's coming from or where?
No.
Just explain the process.
So we have 4 sub-accounts that the district can take from, on a yearly basis and we budget for that. So that portion of it is for long-term debt that the district holds. We take about anywhere from probably 320 to a little over 400 a year, and that's what we're gonna take right now. We're probably about 30,000 shy of the budget. We don't really need to take all of it. But, so we do, there's a debt payment that we take and that subsidizes some of it, and then we take some of the interest.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Schultz. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion is carried. Set the date for the annual reorganization meeting, that will be next month. Do we have to do the motion first and then set the date for the meeting? Oh, it doesn't matter, you can set the date and then. All right, guys, have at it. It has to be before a certain time.
It's supposed to be
within the first 15 days. All right, so you need to do it by July 15th, if possible.
July 15th.
I don't know if,
There's no July meeting already scheduled?
but they're gonna happen at the same time. I don't know if Lauren, is she allowed to participate in
I
this
think
one?
we had it with this one.
Is Lauren allowed to participate in this conversation?
Can participate, but she would not.
She cannot.
Yeah, so I'll,
Alright,
how's it
we need nodding.
The 12th is a Monday.
The 12th, Tammy and I will be at Rural Schools Conference.
Oh, that Monday still?
Monday, July 12th through the 14th, yes. I'm sorry. It is the 11th to the 13th is Rural Schools.
So is there a July
I mean,
meeting already
the,
scheduled?
normally
No,
we
this
do
is how we
the
schedule.
reorg and then a regular meeting.
Correct.
It doesn't
That's-
have to be that way.
Doesn't have.
Reorg can be 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, why would it be the
No, the
same?
reorg meeting takes, that meeting is the longest meeting you have. The reorg meeting.
But isn't it long because we regularly do the reorg and then a regular
It's,
meeting?
no, the reorg is actually the longer part. Because that's when you reappoint everybody.
Appoint all the safety committees.
Yeah.
Your agenda for those meetings is generally like
Everyone.
7 things. So the reorg part is the long part, so keep that in mind when you're making this decision.
About the 14th.
Monday, it's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, 14th.
I can do that.
So there's, in addition to this, there'll be a regular board meeting?
It's a long night.
It's gonna be all the same. Traditionally, it's all the same
Right, that's what I'm asking.
evening.
Yeah, it
Yes,
saves you
okay.
from having to meet again during the summer when people are trying to go on vacation.
Right, okay, great.
And it gets things going for the school year.
But that's at the discretion of the board.
Mhm.
Whatever way the board wants to do that.
I'm still the president, just for 15 minutes. But not for this part, not for this part.
I would also
Russell
throw
was
out there
powered.
July 8th, Thursday the 8th, I mean, did you know, did you ever say?
Not for 4th, that whole time.
That whole week, okay, no
Yeah.
problem. 15th works.
15th?
Tuesdays or Thursdays are tough for me.
Well, that Wednesday, did you say was the 14th, no good?
Wednesday the 14th?
How many of you can make it on Wednesday, the 14th, show of hands? Trustee Letty, are you the only one not showing hands?
I'm not I'm
You're not-
inclusive at this point. I think it's okay. 14.
Can you make it okay?
Yeah, it's okay, if I can be.
Well, this one would typically start at 6 o'clock as well because we won't have an executive
You're not,
session.
that's right, you're not allowed to have an executive session, so it doesn't start until 6.
Right,
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, does that
That
help?
should help, Sean.
I just don't have my family stuff in this phone, so I'm just not sure. But if it works for everyone else, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
So, did I do a motion yet for that? I didn't yet. Okay, a motion for the reorganizational meeting on July 14th at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Thank you, Tammy, and a second? Second. Any other questions or comments about it? All in favor? Any opposed? And the
Nay.
motion, yeah?
Hey,
Huh?
I just wanna do
Would
that,
you?
just because you're coming to the end, I just wanna give you a little trouble.
Yeah. Peanut gallery.
No, I revised that, so.
I like it. All right, so everyone's okay, the motion is carried, enjoy yourselves, guys. Public comments, any other public comments? Any other discussion, board comments? I will start with Mrs. Linden.
Okay, well, I created a little list, as I've been sitting here. And I'd like to take the opportunity to say goodbye. Well, not really goodbye. We have you for a little bit more, but recognize Sue for all her efforts and what she's done so far. I know I'm probably a better board member because of Sue's help and guidance, so appreciate that very much. Same token, I would like to welcome Lisa on board. Very excited to have you. I know you're very excited to be here, so that's yay, a wonderful thing. Say goodbye to Beth, and it's been an honor and privilege to serve with you these, how many years, I don't want to do math. I will take just a minute to give you a little something to express our gratitude.
Thank you.
And
No,
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 no
no,
hugs, no
No,
hugs.
I'm on camera.
I want to say thank you. Very good. I also want to say how excited I am that we still do Tractor Day. I think that's such a neat thing. It's a DA thing, and I know kids look forward to it, so I just love that we're still doing that. And also want to comment that, how excited I am that we've got pre-K coming, and I've heard nothing but really wonderful things from the community. They're very excited about this as well. He's just a couple minutes late, so he missed me saying what wonderful
I'm an awesome
person.
now late for me.
Beth is, and how much we've enjoyed having her and working with her, and appreciate her support and guidance, and thank you for letting her do all that for us.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And I'm sorry because I probably stole the whole lot of people's thunder.
That's okay.
Thank you. I'm done.
Mrs. Shepherd.
I'm sad to see you go, I'm happy and sad, so, and same thing with Sue, happy and sad, selfishly sad, but very happy for both of you. Hopefully you have free Monday nights.
Mr. Hay?
Yep, all right, so congratulations to all the new people and people departing. We're not going to disclose that Steve tried to persuade us to have you run again because he enjoys his Monday nights. And
Thanks for the support here.
yeah, honestly though, appreciate everything everybody's doing to make the end of the year successful here. These events are my favorite, I think, and I'm really proud of this particular school district for pushing forward with events that we're having a few more people maybe than other places, but we're staying within the rules. I think it was easy for some school districts to do the basic, and they made that decision a long time ago, but I'm proud of us that we held out and sort of finessed it so we could have the most people around that fit into the regulations. And I know families really appreciate that too, so I'm proud of that, and I know all the families really appreciate it. And I love all the events that have happened so far, they're really inspirational, really cool to be a part of, so thank you for everybody's contribution to that.
Thank you, trustee Heath.
Yes, ditto, and everyone have a happy, healthy, safe summer.
Mr. Tucker.
I've made it through 1 year as a board member. It's been educational, as it should be in the school district. And I look forward to being here with everybody in the next year.
Mrs. Kelly?
Again, I welcome Mr. Fisher and Mrs. Klasky. I hope you find our school as inviting as I think we do. And I'm sure you'll have a great career, as my family testifies with my husband being here umpteen years and still is attached. As I think about why is Delhi special, Delaware Academy special, it's because of the people and definitely Sue, I know Mrs. Klasky said you're gonna be hard shoes to replace and you definitely will be. I know you really helped Superintendent Zimmerman and you've helped all of us too. And that has been a lifesaver for the newbies. I was a newbie at one time. Beth, you did rise to the occasion. I know when I still remember your first meeting as presidents and your voice wavering.
Oh, sure.
It's gone. It went very soon. And your confidence and truly you've made this one of my most pleasant years as a board member. So I thank you for that. Mrs. Zimmerman has always been very effusive about giving everybody praises in the school. And I do think as the school year is winding down, it's thanks to everyone, including the students. And so I'm glad to be a small part of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelly. I just want to say I did say what I was going to say last meeting, but I'll thank you all again, and for the confidence note, Lucy, that's because of the six of you and Mrs. Zimmerman and Mrs. Temple and all of you around me that I gained the confidence. It was because you all were under me, supporting me, and I really appreciate that. And it's been 27 years that I've been a part of Delaware Academy, so as a student, then an employee, and then a board member, and then the president, so I feel like I've hit all the points, so I'm gonna bow out gracefully while I'm ahead, and thank you to everyone, especially the educators who educated me, appreciate it. And good luck, Mrs. Rayfield, when you come fill the spot. Welcome. And Sue, you're a gem, just saying, you're a gem, so thank you. And good, glad.
Following the close of our meeting, we do have a cake to share for both of you, so, and everybody here is invited to stay to join us.
All right, thank you. So yeah, the reorganizational board meeting is all set, and that's it. Closing the meeting. The deadline for items to be placed on the board agenda is the Tuesday prior to the Board of Education meeting. If you have any questions, please contact the district clerk, who will still be Sue, at 746-1306. We will not be entering into executive session. So a motion please to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Lucy, and a second. Thank you, trustee Hay. That's it. Adios, amigos.